Okay. Oh wow, why is my microphone so quiet? Hold on. What? There we go. That's more normal. Okay. Okay. Cool. My parents are coming home at around 4, so. Yeah. Let's open up. Yeah, you know, let's try Flash, just for fun. Oh shit. Hey, V3 NRO. Usually there are, chatters by now. You know, I've been using Flash occasionally on OpenWebUI, and it's pretty interesting, so. And it's fast, too. Like, check this out. Like, write a 20-paragraph essay on MixOS. I don't think it's actually going to be 20 paragraphs. But, like, get ready. Like, look at how fast this is. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? How many tokens per second is that? 129 tokens per second. And then you compare that to, you know, 3 Pro. So it was 125 tokens per second. Check this out. We're going to do Gemini 3 Pro. Let's see if it's any slower. I think it will be. Yeah, just you can obviously tell it's slower. Maybe a little slower. Wow. Yeah, look, 80 tokens per second. So that's 80 tokens per second versus 125. Pretty neat, if I do say so myself. You know, and I don't necessarily know if that's worth the lower, if that's worth the, you know, lower intelligence, but, you know. Thank you for the awesome emotes, V3 NRO. Cloud computing, especially in hybrid models. I feel like it's either flexibility or lower cost. Which answer would it be when you specify hybrid models? I would assume flexibility. Okay. Netstat. Netstat without switches. The fact that you call it switches and not flags implies it's Windows. Really? They don't call it... Whoops. I think I must have gotten the wrong answer on this last run through. You can tell this is written by a Windows user because it says without switches. And every single time you're referring to command line flags on Linux, you call them flags. You don't call them switches. During a network audit, it is discovered that a significant amount of IP fragmentation is occurring, leading to performance issues. The network uses both IPv4 and IPv6. Implement a solution to minimize fragmentation. Which action is most likely to reduce IP fragmentation? What role does a router play in a network with multiple subnets? And then that would be Linux. Even though they don't call them switches on Linux. I don't think it broadcasts an ART message. Really? What does the client do to ensure the offered IP address is not already in use? This is strange because doesn't the DHCP server know which IP addresses are in use? Thanks for the keyboard emojis. Wouldn't the functionality of ensuring no duplicate IP addresses be within? Is it PURVIEW? Oh wait, it's PERVUE, right? Wait, is it PURVIE? Okay. Sure. Your server might try to give you an address that's already being used. If you just took it blindly, you'd both lose your connection. By broadcasting an ART message, specifically what's called a gratuitous ARP, the client is basically shouting, "Hey, I'm about to use this IP, does anyone else have it?" You know, you're able to use words v3 NRO. Have I already written stuff about DHCP in my notes? Let's see. Yes, but it seems like nothing specific in my notes. Okay. Dora. V3 NRL, I'm learning right now, okay? I'm not gonna fucking, you know, change my studying habits on your whims, okay? Okay. Sorry if that wasn't the implication, but I feel those sort of fast forward. Oh no, did I sign out of everything when I cleared my history? I thought I had that off. No, I'm just signed out of Wikipedia for some reason. Okay, hold on. Yeah, your fast forward message implied that you wanted me to like move on from the question I did. Yeah, so if that's correct, then all I'm telling you is that, you know, I'm not gonna change my studying habits based on whatever you say in chat. You know, I'm learning about DHCP right now. I'm you know, confirming my knowledge. The DHCP operation begins with clients broadcasting a request. If the client and server are in different broadcast domains, which is like different subnets, right? A DHCP helper or a DHCP relay agent may be used. Clients requesting renewal of an existing lease may communicate directly via UDP unicast since the client has already established an IP address at that point. Additionally, there's a broadcast flag the client can use to indicate in which way, broadcast or unicast, it can receive the DHCP offer. This for broadcast, this for unicast. Usually the DHCP offer is sent through unicast. For these hosts which cannot accept unicast packets before IP addresses are configured, this flag could be used to work around this issue. The DHCP client broadcasts a DHCP discover message on the network subnet using the destination address, all ones, or the specific subnet broadcast address, directed broadcast. A DHCP client may also request an IP address in the DHCP discover, which the server may take into account when selecting an address to offer. Oh, I see. Okay, so like if you know, a lease expires, like a DHCP lease expires or whatever, it still knows its old configuration, and that configuration includes the broadcast address, previously signed static IP but switched to DHCP. Okay, that makes sense. When a DHCP server receives a DHCP discover message from a client, which is an IP address lease request, the DHCP server receives an IP address for the client and makes the lease offer by sending a DHCP offer message to the client. When a DHCP server receives a DHCP discover message from a client, which is an IP address lease request, the DHCP server reserves an IP address for the client and makes a lease offer by sending a DHCP offer message to the client. This message may contain the client's ID, the IP address that the server is offering, the subnet mask, the lease duration, and the IP address containing the client's client ID, traditionally a MAC address? What exactly does MAC address mean? Because I think the reasoning might media access control address. Okay, I see. The DHCP server determines the configuration based on client's hardware address as specified in the client hardware address field. Okay. Maybe I should write this down. I really want to get folder notes working. Hmm. Oh, great. Folder notes are working. Okay. So, okay. Why does network management protocol go to communication protocol? That's so weird. Whoa, this looks so different based on these two monitors. Like the colors look so different. This is such a crazy, stupid thumbnail. This is such a bad clip channel. Don't recommend this channel. what is configuring DHCP? Is that just like Cisco stuff? What is this?
In our previous video, we looked at
It's still probably valuable.
On our modern networks, we've become so accustomed to simply turning on our systems.
Oh, dude, theater mode is back. Oh, whoa. Okay, they totally ruined theater mode previously, where you would go into theater mode and it would like totally put the video in the middle of the window and just like put black bars on the top and bottom. You could probably see it in a few of my old studying live stream VODs. And it was terrible because ideally theater mode just removes the bezels from each side of the window if you have like a window sort of half size. So I'm so happy they fixed theater mode, and it looks like they have a pretty slick animation, but it also happens like really slowly now. There's a lot of latency. Do you hear that? This is when I press the button. Listen. That's crazy, but I'm happy this is fixed now. God.
And we're able to communicate with other devices on our local network or browse the internet. But it wasn't always this easy. We used to manually configure all of our IPv4 configuration settings. The IP address, the subnet mask, the DNS settings, and everything else associated with TCP/IP was all configured manually on every device. In order to scale this process, we created a new protocol that would do all of this for us automatically. This was called the Bootstrap protocol, or BootP. But BootP didn't configure everything automatically, and there were a number of enhancements.
Can I link host? Dynamic host configuration protocol. Wait, and then I can link network protocol. And then I can link networking. Network protocol. And then lowercase n here. DHCP, short for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, is a network protocol that defines sorry, I'm scratching my knee right now.
That we would like to make to the protocol. For example, if someone left the network, it would be nice if this protocol recognized that that IP address was now available. So we created a newer version of BootP called DHCP, or the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. DHCP is the protocol we use today to provide these automatic address configurations for all of the devices on our network. The process for defining these IP addresses
Can I link client? Client server. And what does client server link to? Oh, just 117 internal component? I can do that.
Automatically follows 4 different steps that we're going to call DORA, D-O-R-A.
Also, where does DHCP link? Oh, shit. Okay. How do I combine these two? Versus okay. Okay, I'm actually gonna delete this. And then I'm gonna move this to here, because this is gonna be more comprehensive. And then UDP is an IP IPv4 v4 v4 product. Networking protocol that allows devices to receive configuration info from a central DHCP server. It was a successor to the boot-p protocol. Boot-p protocol. And then, why is DHCP? This is such a strange thing I said here. Why would there are some old notes of mine where I just obviously wrote them in a situation where I was not intentionally, but like sort of accidentally copying from the CompTIA training material I was following at the time, and they love doing these like theoretical worlds where like a certain thing doesn't exist, which is nice because it does tell you like, you know, what a certain tool or protocol does in like a very useful way, but there's no reason for it to be in the notes, so I don't know what I was doing here. And then from here, unless there's like better training material on it, I don't know if I want to copy from Wikipedia. What? Straight CompTIA training material? Wow. Is there, should this be a serif font? Should I enable? Optimizely? No? Okay. Okay. How are we going to do this? Okay. Dude. I forget about how terrible this is. Move. Move over. Move. Why does this happen? Okay. I see. Right. Okay. Did I talk about limited broadcast? Broadcast address. And this is in client-side network configuration. I see. Well, so is the difference between right? Okay. I see. I don't think this is worth making a note on. Limited broadcast address. Yeah, so this could also be Oh, wait. The This involves the client broadcasting a DHCP discover message on the subnet with the limited broadcast address. This could also be the subnet's broadcast address. Which would only be used in the context of this could also be the subnet's broadcast address, which will only be used in the context of renewing a DHCP lease. Is there like a lease? Okay. DHCP lease. In the context of renewing a DHCP lease, or this could also be the subnet's broadcast address, which would only be used in the context. Which would be used in the context of redoing a DHCP lease or moving a previously static IPv4 previously static networking configuration with one provided by DHCP. Why does it say... Okay, I'm gonna go to 3 Pro. You're absolutely right. Oh, sure. It's weird that it talks about the client sending the client ID because it doesn't say anything about that in the discovery period. Really? Am I stupid? It's interesting that they do this with tables, but I guess it makes sense. Oh my god, wait, it totally mentions it. It's so over. It totally mentions it up here. I didn't even notice. And it's gonna be like, oh, actually, it does mention it. Okay. Client broadcasts a DHCP discover message. For example, if HType is sent to 1, the header is set to the MAC address used by the client. Magic cookie. Okay, 1 moment. I'm gonna be gone for like 5 minutes.
Hi, sorry for being dishonest. I also got some pretzels.
Come on. Why does this happen? Oh, okay. Sometimes it's just the dot forever. That's what I thought was going to happen. Why did I say section A? It's a very interesting sounding car far away outside. The client must send the server identification option in the DHCP request message indicating the server whose offer the client has selected. Does that imply that there were multiple DHCP servers? Well, of course it does, right? But I guess what I'm asking is, when other DHCP servers receive this message, I guess what I'm wondering is DHCP request? I guess it must also be broadcast. I guess this is all broadcast. So I guess if there are other DHCP servers, it's sort of communicating with all of them via a broadcast domain. I haven't really considered that because I had always sort of, and I guess this makes sense why this isn't the case, but I had always thought that like, oh, after discovery, it's sort of just directly communicating with the DHCP server, but that isn't true because it hasn't even been given network information. Okay, that makes sense. revives. I'm going to do a typing test really quick. It's so over. It's over. Ist un over für mich. They're calling it the worst German of all time. Awesome. Okay. I see. There are multiple DHCPs here. Oh, I haven't done that typo in a while. I used to flip the E and I of receive all the time, but I only accidentally did because I was editing it from Revive. That's interesting. I haven't really done that typo in a while. There are multiple DHCP servers. Wait, what? Cool. Now I know how DHCP works. And that took a minute, but I think it's worth it because the DHCP stuff has always sort of tripped me up, and I think sort of doing a deep dive on it is pretty nice. Instead of just like having to do like weird rote memorization of like what the answers are in this specific flashcard thing regarding DHCP. Oh wait, my phone is plugged in. Whoops. What does the separation of the control and data planes achieve? What is ZTA? Oh my god. 0 to, okay. Of monitoring individual interface statistics in a network. What is the primary purpose of monitoring individual interface statistics in a network? Purpose of the SCP command. Is that just secure copy protocol? Okay. Man, I remember using, what's it called? WinSCP? Ah, dude! Man, I remember, when I was hosting my Minecraft server for the first time, and my buddy, in Wisconsin, he was teaching me how to use tmux, and he was teaching me how to use, like all these different things just so that I can remotely access the server, which ended up being like one of the most useful set of skills I ever learned ever, really, because it made, setting up my website super easy, sort of thing. But I remember him, like one of the things he taught me how to use was WinSCP as like a graphical environment for editing server files. And I used WinSCP for, God, I think as long as I use Windows. So I used it until probably August of 2019, which is pretty funny. Man, shout out WinSCP, dude. I ended up using SFTP and Dolphin once I switched to Arch on KDE Plasma, and it was Plasma 5 at the time. Man, I'm getting nostalgic. Okay. And that was on X11. I'm still on X11, but cloud environment that hosts several applications. So one of the applications is experiencing slow response times due to high traffic. You decide to isolate this application's resources by moving them to their own virtual private cloud. What must you ensure to maintain connectivity between this isolated application and the rest of the environment? I guess 3, right? Yeah. A large university is in the process of expanding its campus network to accommodate new buildings and an increasing number of connected devices. Why is it called a university? Me when I procrastinate. Universitas. Meaning a whole or a community of teachers and scholars. I see. Sure. A network team is looking for a solution that allows for flexibility in the types and numbers of ports available from the building. High-speed connections to the main data center. Like maybe managed modular switches? Okay. Oh, oh, I remember this one being really silly. VLAN hopping. Which packages preferred over net tools for most of the netstat functionality on Linux. A software developer is working in a coffee shop when a friendly stranger strikes a conversation about technology. During the chat, the stranger offers the developer a I think it ended up, I thought it was going to be 3 because like maybe the IT team would find it interesting, but I'm going to go for 1 because I think it was 1, yeah. During a network expansion, a new subnet is added. However, clients on the subnet are unable to obtain DHCP leases. The existing subnets do not have this issue. Yeah. Which of the following best describe systems that manage and monitor various aspects of a building's environment to ensure optimal conditions? ECS? What protocol does the ping command use to send messages? It's ICMP. What type of information does a root DNS server contain? A DNS server? A root DNS server. That would be like com, net, org. I wouldn't say only information about country code domains. I'm going to say complete information about top-level domain servers, yeah. What should you suspect if you cannot ping a local host and the error is destination unreachable? Oh, I didn't even read the other answers. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh well. What mark is given to riser-rated data cable? What is the function of the request to send and clear to send mechanism? Which of the following fiber optic connectors is known for its small form factor and widely adopted for gigabit Ethernet? What is the primary purpose of WDM? What domain is used for reverse querying of IPv6 addresses? Reverse DNS querying. It's, isn't it IP6? Yeah. What is the record? I remember that one because it made me mad. Because, like, why would IPv6 reverse routing be IP6? Like, you would expect it to be IPv6. What is the recommended access point power setting relative to the weakest client power? Oh, God. I don't... Half? Okay. Why is this bold? Oh, relative to the weakest client power. Sure, that makes sense. You're updating the Wi-Fi network of a large conference center. You want to ensure that the network is secure against modern threats and vulnerabilities. The network needs to support a large number of devices and provide robust protection. What? That'd be WPA3 with GCMP, right? Because it's like the newest and best one. Which of the following is the best approach when configuration is drifted from its baseline? Oh God. It's over. Okay, wait. I knew that because the second octet started with 00, and 57 was the smallest second octet in the set of answers. But I should just learn binary. What is a key feature of the routers, gateways, or VPN apps in a software-defined wide area network? NFV? What is this saying? What does NFV infrastructure control? Network function virtualization. Oh, okay. I see. So, network. Okay. But the allocation of storage and networking resources? I guess infrastructure. Okay. 2/3, and then... Oh, wait. Oh, I meant to press 1. Whoops. You heard me. I said 2/3. I meant to press 1 there. I pressed the wrong button. Storage and networking resources. And then 2/3. Okay. Which layers diagram, which are asset IDs, cable links, and wall patch panel. That'd be physical layer. Regular expression, regex, filtered by keywords. I mean, not really, but like, kind of using an active tap. Of entrance, I can, now that I'm not doing Obsidian, I can increase the size of my webcam again. The purpose of entrance facilities in a structured cabling scheme. Oh god, this one. I don't think the MDF ones are correct. I think it's 1, yeah. It's to upgrade the company's hub to isolate collision domains from each other and allow for gigabit Ethernet. That would be a switch, right? What is a common implementation of remote network access? A VPN. Elasticity differ from scalability in cloud computing. What are the requirements for horizontal cabling in a structured cabling scheme? Does it need to connect people to an IDF? Well, I don't think 2 is correct because you don't need to do that. I don't think 1 is correct because it also mentions the stupid fiber optic thing, so I feel like it's either 3 or 4. And the wireless booster seems like it makes more sense, but I'm not sure. Wait, a wireless booster? No. A wireless booster? I don't think so. Is a wireless booster just like an access point or like an unmanaged access point? I'm gonna go for 4. Okay. What is the difference between a address resolution protocol cache and a switch's MAC address table? What is the purpose of caching ARP results? What's the purpose of using the SV or A switch on Nmap? What methods are used to derive session keys in an enterprise authentication setup? Derive session keys? I don't think it would be something like WPA3 and WPA2, so I don't think it's 4. It'd be weird if it was 1, but I don't really know what beamforming is. Session key? I think I'm gonna go for 2. Really? 3? Really? In an enterprise authentication setup, drive session keys. Really? I guess that makes sense. I know what a distractor is. What kernel do most Linux? Border Gateway Protocol? Oh god. I feel like it's either TCP or UDP. I don't remember exactly. I'm gonna go for UDP. Okay, it's TCP. Whoops. TCP. Okay. God, should I look into Border Gateway Protocol? I kind of don't want to. Best describes the relationship between scalability and costs in a cloud system. The relationship between scalability and costs. How does an MPO connector capable of carrying... Can I have remotely save run every, like, hour? Schedule for auto run. How does the MPO connector, multi-point operation, compare in footprint to a duplex LC pair? I assume it would require more space. Oh, I see. Okay, I guess I just got that wrong. Same footprint. Persistent configuration.
Of rogue devices? The fourth distractor was the same as the first correct answer, but you know. Or I guess technically the third distractor. The fourth answer was the same as the first answer, is what I should say. What is one of the features that log analysis and reporting software should have? I don't know. There we go. I remember that one. Unique identifier. Oh, it's over. It's over for me. I didn't even read. I really should quit doing that. Unique identifier used by SIP endpoints. Okay. It's so over for me. What is the role of a MAC address in the context of host interfaces at the data link layer? Which OSI model layer is responsible for guaranteeing reliable message delivery? It's over. I think I got that one wrong last time too. Which factor determines the type of credential a subject can use for authentication? How is rack height measured in U units? What is a common way for threat actors to gain access to a network? Oh God, okay. I think I actually got that one right last time because I remember thinking about it a lot. Because I remember thinking about it, I was like, like these are both technically true. Like a lot of the time phishing is used to like learn users' passwords, but oh well. Dig, Oh my god, I'm an idiot. 50% growth is times 1.5, not times 2. Yeah. That's 225, but that's perfectly encapsulated by 256. I thought it was thinking 300, and I was like, oh, 512. But, alas, that sucks. You receive a call from a customer who's experiencing issues with a third-party application that is not supported by your company. Despite explaining the situation and attempting to provide general advice, the customer becomes increasingly difficult and abusive. Maintain... You're designing a network for a large conference event. You need to configure a special network segment for without accessing the internet. In addition, you want to ensure that this network segment uses an IP address range that will not conflict with the public internet. Oh god. I think I remember it being... I think I remember choosing 10.0.0.0 with the 8 CIDR address, but I think that ended up not being true. I'm gonna go for 1, because I think I remember that being the right answer, but I could be wrong. Oh, wait, it could be 4. Wait. Wait, I'm actually gonna go for 4. It's over! It was 10?! Dude! Okay. Whoops. How do attackers exploit the native VLAN feature in a VLAN hopping attack? This is so embarrassing. God. Oh my god. What is the primary purpose of a prevention type physical control like electronic locks? Using jumbo frames. It's not 3. I don't think it's 1. So I feel like it's either 2 or 4. But, like, granting access to a whole server would be a little weird. So I'm going to go for authentication for user lock-on requests. Because, like, why would a ticket granting ticket allow you to request tickets? I'm going to go for 2, but it could maybe be 1 or... Yeah, okay. Alright. I need to probably learn Kerberos more. It's over. Because T stands for TLS. Sorry, I'm really tired. I think I might be done streaming for now. I don't know. I'm feeling really tired. I don't really know what's come over me. Maybe it's because of what I ate today, but I'm not sure. I might just exercise some more. I don't know. Maybe I should just drink some water. I don't have any water. That's fine. Okay, wait. Yeah, of course, because why would network address translation be in the physical layer? It's just not, obviously. There's nothing physical having to do with NAT. Okay, I'll do 11 more questions. I'll get 11 more questions correct. As opposed to payload mode, which only encrypts the payload. Really? Okay, I got it the other way around. Okay. I'm gonna... I don't know. I'm gonna keep studying. I should keep studying. No, okay, I need to go. I